Peace and blessings, family. Sister Ajali. This child's body is a genocidal crime scene. Now, I warn you, if you have a sensitive disposition, you should cherish that and do not watch this share. There's no graphic portrayals or depictions of all the ravages that radiation can cause. But I'm going to start out with what could be, for some people, a disturbing photo. First, I'm going to read here. My perfect little boy. Mother 29, whose baby has no legs, one arm, and a webbed hand, says not having abortion was best decision in her life after she learned of rare condition while he was still in the womb. I too am definitively anti-abortion. That's an easy call, but none of this is easy on anybody. Now, the little boy's name is Henry Higgs. He's 11 months old, and she says that he has progressed really well and manages with just his one limb. The little boy had amniotic band syndrome, which inhibits growth in the womb. I had reported in this share, when babies are born with 3 legs and 2 penises, we gotta talk. And it covered, I don't think I even put the photo up in here, but a young boy, little white boy, who was born literally with this physical deformity. They give it fancy words to make it seem as if they give a damn or they figured it all out, when none of our foods are being tested for Fukushima radiation, for all man-made radiation, and my reading of the subject matter has only confirmed we must demand testing, and we must begin a pronounced, determined investigation and scientifically conducted research into the ways to mitigate radiation out of our environment. This is the channel Aframax TV. For the longest time, I would look for these conditions that affect us directly, black us, I mean, and it was nigh to impossible. You hear about how we have a 320% increased rate of autism because of the MMR vaccine that is administered within the first 6 months of our little black children's lives, and all children pretty much, but nowhere can you find how we have a greater rate of autism than the white folks. You don't find these pictures. I was not finding, because I know in Afghanistan and Fallujah, they were using depleted uranium to cause horrific deformities. And I said, wait a minute, they're doing this to Arab people. I know they're doing worse to us. Because of Aframax TV, I have begun to assess. They have been deluging and experimenting with us using radiation not with us, just against us, for decades and decades and decades. But because we're not looking at the cause, we're sitting ducks. And so that's why I'm going over this story, because this is a big change in the way that they are doing their best to normalize deformity, to normalize what happens due to the radioactive, just non-stop compacting deluge that is upon us. Forgive me, I am adding this in. I'm actually editing a video that I had done the audio for maybe a week or more ago. And as I was putting all together, I saw I scrolled by this story without noticing it, of an Indian baby girl who was born in Rajasthan, India, with 4 legs and 3 hands. It is thought that she was originally a triplet, but that one of the other babies conjoined with her in the womb. I remember when they had the reported original first Siamese twins, Chang and Ang, of all strange last names, Bunker. And this was a huge deal. And there have been various deformities, such as the Elephant Man. I forgot what his name was. But at the same time, in my reading, I found out that there is natural background radiation, which, if you are situated in a home that was being infested with radon, which is one of the gases that decays off of a natural uranium deposit, that can cause genetic defects. It can cause many, many issues. However, it never was pervasive nor as horrifying as what is going on in this modern age, which I like with Africa, I do conclude that they have been using India as a radiological experimentation, just petri dish. And so also in my reading, I have gratefully discovered more about the difficulty for radiation to affect the inner nucleus and the deoxyribonucleic, the DNA within the nucleus of every cell, so that mutations are actually a freak occurrence. This is one of the unfortunate parts of the effects of radiation that give us a sense of like, oh, well, let's not bother. That's not affecting me. Because the mutation part, by the time you see the mutations, it's already caused hundreds and hundreds, upwards of millions of different disastrous effects in people that we would just, for the look of them, seem ordinary, because it also causes the lowering of overall cognitive ability. That might be one of the reasons why so many of us have difficulty in conceptualizing beyond a very rudimentary reptilian, just, on off type of consciousness. It's very difficult for us to take in what would be considered full humanity and ability to conceive beyond the here and now. So back to my original broadcast. And some things I have to emphasize repetitively. This article, Earth's biggest mass extinction 252 million years ago, took 10 times longer on land than in the water. That's what I mean. I'm sure this article is on purpose because they know what they've done and they want to seem as if they're admitting it. Plausible deniability. Well, we didn't know you meant man-made radiation specifically, but we were already talking about how if some stuff starts dying in the water, sooner or later it's going to reach land. Is it our fault the people are ignorant? And the answer to that is no, it's not. But it is their fault for tricking people and not confessing and not owning up to their bloody hand behind it all. And like they use just sort of beguiling treachery to make this seem as if it's okay and normal, where they got this woman up there, she's so happy. It sort of reminds me of how easily Caucasian women have been talked into following mass indoctrination movements, such as during the 50s, they had this whole asphyxiating conformity about them with the, white pearls and the white gloves that all women were supposed to wear while they had no purpose for themselves figured out. And this led to the just predominance and the takeover of the lunacy of feminism, even though they if you don't understand the meaning of life, then you're not going to find any meaning in life. And that tends to be a problem for them. And I do assess that the owners of this society, they don't own us. They only own those who cooperate with them, know that about them. And they're trying to make it seem as if somehow or another having a mutated child is going to be a fulfilling outcome, when this will increase. But it's something you protest and you find out the cause thereof so you can stop it. You don't normalize it. She's so happy, right? She's not upset at all. And that is because this is propaganda. But he is such a happy chap and doesn't let his disability hold him back in any way. He's 11 months old. He doesn't know anything else. Of course, he can be capable of being happy, but you don't want to act like this is not something that is going to be a population spanning just horror. I don't wish any child any harm. But the devil knows what he's doing. Right? Till death do us part. Last words of inspirational breast cancer sufferer. What? Do you know the radiation is the most prominent cause of breast cancer, all conditions in women, because it doesn't just cause cancer, all right? And this article is more than 7 years old, right? But you don't see anything else about it. They knew, this is in 2014, they knew that this was going to happen. This is the World Health Organization that predicted worldwide cancer cases expected to soar by 70% over the next 20 years. You see anybody putting out an alarm about Fukushima anywhere? Because this would be the only thing that would, nobody is smoking more in that massive fashion. What is the one poison out there that would cause this? And here they're just talking about the cancers. Here they just have the propaganda to make you think that, oh, this is so romantic. And so you're going to have bunches of pink chicks out there and stupid, dumb swirlers who are going to think, oh, I got cancer. This is just like some sort of Hollywood movie. And I might even get married to a man who probably wouldn't have married you if you weren't going to die in 50 seconds. That is just one of the conditions that the World Health Organization predicted. This is another. And the rates of all kinds of disabilities, not just the ones you can see, but radiation impedes the full natural just formation process of every fetus times 100 and probably more depending on what the mother is eating. They didn't say anything about all of that. That's how I know they're lies, because I'm reading from the nuclear physicists. They've always known what radiation causes. They just don't tell you and me. And when stuff pops off, they don't confess. They hide because they know people aren't. This is what used to happen when stuff would pop off that was all wrong and things were dying all over the place. People would ask questions. Enough so that I remember thalidomide, right? I remember it just from the history of it, where they did the research and these babies whose mothers were taking this thalidomide, which was supposed to help with the pregnancy process and the birth, babies were showing up all kinds of just their limbs impacted where they didn't have them. That's not what that baby was suffering from. with the mother who's so happy now. I'm quite sure all these mothers were enough in their right mind that they would have never agreed to any of that. All the people involved, they got off. They didn't serve not a single minute in anybody's jail, and any financial just or benefit or reparation that these people received was a bare minimum. And we should know better. I thank this sister, Harriet A. Washington. I have this book. Do you know I'm afraid to read this book? So I understand there are people out there who are afraid of what I'm teaching about Fukushima. I understand that. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to stop being nice because we don't have much time. We don't have much time, and our melanin ain't magical. And in my own book, I put the remedies. I get tired of the merry-go-round of oppression porn. Not that I'm mad at anybody for examining how these devils are the devil. We need that. But if we just stay on past atrocities they've committed at us, against us, then we don't look at the current one. We don't examine the CMOS. We don't examine the radioactive rice. We don't listen to the proof a sister, a housewife is bringing. So you think it's something beyond just whether I'm trying to get some clickbait going on here. Obviously, when I do shares like this, ain't nobody really gonna click on it. I mean, good people, you the most powerful people there are. Right? But I'm just saying, these people, they lie, and now they're trying to make what they've done seem like it's a really good, happy thing. I mean, in the Fukushima from A to Z playlist, this is like a regular thing that I do, where they'll have stories where they're trying to make deformities and mutations seem like it's some rare, precious thing. It ain't gonna be rare for long. When you have something that just goes over the horror and offers no solutions, they don't mind you talking about that. But they mind you talking about Fukushima, because otherwise I wouldn't be the only one. I would not. I would have these fine, sheepskin up, learned professors of science, black ones, plenty of black ones out there. But I'm the only one going over this to the depth that it demands if we're going to withstand it, right? When you're up on national public radio, they know you bring in just what's going to continue the fear-mongering. And I'm not mad at this sister. I celebrate the fact that I bought her book, and I'm going to sit down and read it so I could understand completely what these people do. I'm just saying, I'm trying to be respectful while at the same time recognizing we don't have much time. I love your family. Share the warning again. It's in my nature to be peaceful and to be kind, but I'm beginning to think my kindness is going to get you killed. I love you. Straight black family pride, always.